Today I'm taking my girlfriend diving for the very first time, and we're exploring one of the coolest spots Hawaii has to offer. Hawaii is the most remote place on planet Earth, and this remote paradise is home to some of the most breathtaking views on the planet. The mountains, waterfalls, and cliffsides are like nowhere else in the world. However, these views can easily distract you from the fact that these islands have some of the best snorkeling and diving in the world. With crystal clear visibility and abundance of marine life year-round, Hawaii is a diver's paradise. All of this together is what brought me to the island of Kauai. This island has it all, whether above or below water. Now on this trip, I would be exploring Kauai's unique underwater world, all of which with my girlfriend Selena. And with my NOMAD on hand, it gave me the opportunity to take her diving for the first time. Time to go. So the dive spot today is pretty secretive. There's a very popular spot called the Nini Beach here on Kauai, but I actually discovered this possible dive spot when I was flying my drone, and I saw that there was public beach access. So right now I'm trying to find the exact spot. It's a little bit tricky, but the dive site looks like one of the best on the island, so if we're able to find it, it's gonna be awesome. We just made it to today's spot. Check out how beautiful it is. Oh my goodness. Today I'm on a secret beach here on the island of Kauai, and I'm gonna be taking my girlfriend diving for the very first time. I actually found this location on accident. I was flying my drone up there on the cliffside, and I discovered that the reef here was absolutely incredible. Now first I'm gonna hop in and I'm gonna free dive and I'm gonna snorkel around the reef. There's supposed to be a lot of lava tubes down there too, which is really cool. But after that, the second time we go in, I'm going to be using my NOMAD for myself to go diving, but also more importantly, my girlfriend is going to be diving for the very first time. But if you guys are ready, let's head on in and see what we can find. Since this was a completely new spot, snorkeling was the best first option. The first part of this underwater terrain was incredibly shallow and full of small corals and algae. It took almost a full 20 minutes of swimming to get to the good stuff. My goal was to find this area right here, this massive drop off that I could see with my drone the day prior. Eventually though, we reached it and it dropped off fast. There's no telling how deep it actually gets here, but my best bet would be more than 100 feet. It wasn't before long though until we found our first sea turtle of the day. He was pretty far off in the distance, but it was a good sign that this area and this drop off was a hot spot. And just as I thought that in my head, we found almost 10 others. They were everywhere along the drop off, feeding on the algae that can be found growing on the rocks. I'm so glad I got to see this with Selena. The geography underwater here is like nowhere else, and seeing all of these sea turtles up close was awesome. Before the trip, she said she wanted to see a lot of sea turtles, and here we were just feet away from so many of them. We also got this visit from a massive school of convict surgeonfish. Seeing them swim over the coral was just so beautiful. It was pretty safe to say that this spot has checked out. I can't believe that after discovering it with my drone just the day before would lead to some of the best snorkeling I've ever done. But now that we knew it was awesome, it was time to go back to shore to get her ready to dive. Alright, so I've got the NOMAD all set up and ready to go for you. I've got your weight belt on, only 3 pounds of weight for you. I think that should be enough. And since this is your first time diving, I'm just leaving you with 3 pounds so you can come up to the surface with ease. Any final thoughts before you breathe underwater for the first time?
Let's do it.
After giving her another safety briefing, it was time to go. For those of you wondering, this was made possible by using the NOMAD dive machine. This is a battery-powered tankless dive system that allows for non-certified divers to breathe underwater. You can dive down to 30 feet with it, and the battery lasts up to 75 minutes. However, for her first time, Selena would have a max depth of about 15 feet. So off we went. Since it was so shallow, we started off just snorkeling. snorkeling. This worked out because it also gave her a few minutes to get used to how the NOMAD breathes and feels. Eventually though, we reached the very beginning of the drop-off, and it's really cool to follow it and see just how quickly the bottom disappears. Now after making sure she was comfortable, she started diving down underwater. Now I can vividly remember the first time I breathed underwater, and watching her go for the first time filled me with so much joy. To make it as easy and as safe as possible, I told her she can dive down whenever she feels like it, and to stay at the surface as much as she wants. Moving on, we followed the drop-off pretty far out, where she dove down to check out a lot of the coral and the fish. We were able to explore all over the reef, and the animals we saw did not disappoint. Okay, so that was your first taste of breathing underwater. I know you're having a little bit of trouble with your ears, but besides for that, what did you think?
Well, I wish I could have gone down deeper, but it was still a pretty cool experience in it, and I'm pretty excited to keep on trying it out.
So what'd you think? That huge drop-off located just a couple hundred yards out, what'd you think of that? Have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
No, it's kind of scary, but it's a little cool because it's like I want to know like what's down there. You know?
This is without a doubt one of the best snorkeling spots anywhere in the state of Hawaii, and I would definitely say this has got to be the best on the island of Kauai. This year alone, I've taken Selena shark diving for the first time and now regular diving for the first time. Getting to show her some of my greatest passions is amazing, and I'm so happy to see a sparked interest in diving with her. It's safe to say that she'll be using the NOMAD the very next chance she gets. And not only that, but I got to explore Kauai's unique landscape underwater, along with its most iconic ocean animals. Make sure to stick around to watch me hike the world's hardest trail and even dive through underwater lava tubes around the island.